Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, Dr. Yukon Suckit, and I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, bringing to you a deck that is currently being named Mono Red Burn. And so let's talk about the story behind this deck. So today I'm like, what am I going to play? And I looked deep within myself, and deep within myself, it came back echoing up, "You're hungry." And I said, okay, fine. But what else? What other than that? And it said, go get some Chick-fil-A. And I said, no, man, we're looking for some deck. What are we going to do? So we went out and got Chick-fil-A tonight, and I came home and I ate that. And then it was like, okay, let's just go kick some ass. So that's what we're doing. We're getting an ass kicked deck. I didn't want to do any thinking. I just wanted to lay out the cards and just press into people as hard as possible. So so that's what we're playing tonight is a mono red burn deck that has no intentions of playing defense at all. It is just going for somebody's neck and saying, slap me off, man, because otherwise I'm going to chew out your throat. So let's take a look at this deck, see what's in it, and take it out to see how well it does. At the low end, we've got Kumano faces Kakkazan. So I personally always think this deck's a little underpowered, but it's one red mana. So whatever. I guess it's a great low end card for red. Because you're doing 1 point of damage. That's it. You go 1 point of damage, 1 mana. And that's a good trade-off, right? But it's nice is you get these. I'm sorry, I'm also kind of sick tonight. So sorry. You also get the next 2 rounds. The second round is that on that turn, the first creature that enters the battlefield on your turn gets an additional +1/+1 counter on it, which I will point out to you later on, a creature that would really, really like that. On the third turn, you get a hasty 2/2. And it says, if a creature dealt damage this turn by a source you control would die, exile it instead, which I think means when he comes into play, right? So that'll exile anything that dies that turn. They can't get it back. So you get a hasty 2/2. And so for 1 mana, you got this time release capsule formula. You're getting a hasty 2/2 and an extra +1 counter on something. That is a good trade-off. It's great tempo. Good for it, right? Strangle. It's not the neck snapper, one of my favorite black cards, right? But it does do 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker for 1. And plus it just says strangle, and I love using that as a verb. I'm going to strangle this. I'm going to strangle that. So good at you, Strangle. You're well worth being in this deck. It's very much like the lightning bolt of old, except for it's not every target. It's just creatures or planeswalkers. We got Voldaren Epicure, who likes to hang around. It looks like he's trying to talk to Soren the Stupid. Hanging out. Hello, I have my blood wine, and I am so cool. Look at my massive poncho. And when he comes to play, he deals 1 point of damage to each opponent. If I was playing multiplayer, that'd be great, right? It just means I pissed everybody off. At which point, you just got a 1/1 and one of these blood vial artifacts, right? Blood tokens. And so whatever, man. It's a thing. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this card. I bet you there's probably something we put in here better than him, but we're going to try him out and see how well it works out. Okay? It's in here for a reason. Oh, by the way, I did pick this up over on, where did I get this from? Aether Hub tonight. So check the description below for the deck list and where I got it from. All right, we got the Ogre-Head Helm. It's a 2/2 artifact creature for 2. When you equipped it onto another creature, that creature gets 2/2. Whenever the Ogre-Head Helm or equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it, as in even the creature that's on. And if you do, you discard your hand and you draw 3 cards. So there you go. We got Kami's Flare. Or it's a Kami. I'm not quite sure. So it's an instant for 2. It does 3 points of damage to target creature or planeswalker, which makes it like a Strangle, but a little bit more expensive. But at least you get to do it anytime, right? Not on your turn, during different phases of the game, that kind of stuff. says it also deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. Okay, so Kumano's second phase puts a +1 counter on a creature when it comes in, making it into a modified creature. So that means then if you happen to have that out on the battlefield, you will deal an extra 2 points of damage to your opponent at that time. We got Shatterskull Smashing, which there's just one of it in there. And it is a mana that you can pay to make into fast, otherwise it comes out tapped. If you don't need it for mana, you can pump mana into it to do that much damage to up to 2 target creatures or planeswalkers. So suck it, target creatures or planeswalkers. If you pay 6 or more, then it deals twice that much damage to those selections instead. We got Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which I will refer to as Kiki-Jiki. And it is a saga card. So the first turn you get a 2/2 red goblin shaman. Whenever it attacks, it creates a treasure token. So it'll help to ramp you a little bit. On your next turn, you may discard it to 2 cards. If you do, you draw that many cards. So if you got some stuff that's not working out, you can toss it. And then we got the third turn, gets you the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, who you could tap, pay 1 mana, and make a copy of a token. Create a token that's a copy of another non-legendary creature you control, except it has haste, and you sacrifice that thing at the beginning of the next end step. So I would suggest that you copy Shatterskull Charger, brought to you by Giant Warriors. For 3, you get a 4/3 who's got trample and haste. And then if he was kicked, he enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. So you have to pay 5 for that. At the beginning of your end step, if you do not have a +1 counter on it, return it to its owner hand. So this is another situation in which on the second phase of Kumano, if you have the 3 mana and you play this guy, you'll get the +1 counter on it, at which point then he doesn't come back to your hand, he just stays in battle. I gotta tell you, coming back to your hand actually is a pretty sweet feature, depending upon if you're playing against like control decks. Because a lot of times they really can't do things against instants that well. Usually they got sorceries that they're dealing with for wiping creatures out. And this guy's going to dodge that stuff a lot. And so he's pretty awesome. So you got to kind of guess what the other person is playing and then make sure that you pay for him appropriately. We got Jaxis the Troublemaker. So Jaxis here is a human warrior, 2/3 for 4, highly overpriced. But like the Kiki-Jiki, you have the ability to, in this case, discard a card, pay a mana, and tap this to create a temporary hasty token of another creature that you control. So just pick one of the other guys you got, like the Shatterskull Charger or the Thundering Raiju, and make copies of those. I think this guy's probably better because he's got trample. So, but trample and double haste, super cool, super cool. The only thing about Jaxis here is Jaxis is legendary, so you can only have 1 out at a time. We got Thundering Raiju, which is a great hasty creature in red. My problem is he costs 4, That's where the treasure tokens that are created by, who makes it here? Treasure tokens. The shaman that comes from the Kiki-Jiki, right? So that way you could potentially, if you get this out on 3, and I guess you're missing out on mana for some reason, this could potentially make the 4th one. The larger play the Thundering Raiju. And it says hasty 3/3. Whenever it attacks, you put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Then Thundering Raiju deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than Thundering Raiju. So you pass around that sweet nectar of +1 counters, meaning this guy will do additional damage whenever it attacks. So awesome. Then we got 3 manlands, in this case, Den of the Bugbear, one of the cheapest manlands out there. When it attacks, you create an additional one goblin token that's also tapped and attacking. We got the Sokenzan, basically the Kamigawa land that creates 2 1/1 color spirit tokens with haste. And so, but unfortunately, you lose your land if you use it. So it's up to you to decide whether you want to use it as a land or use it to create hasty 1/1 tokens. So this guy creates a hasty token, this creates hasty tokens, and this creates mana. That creates mana. Congratulations. All right, so that is the deck. Hopefully this thing's got the punch we're looking for. Let's take it out and see how well it does. All right, playing against Santiago PR. What does PR stand for? Personal Retriever. 2 mana. Is that going to be enough to cast everything we want to cast here? That's a third. I'll keep it. Keeps it. And I'm going to strangle your dog so hard. Right there. Yeah, that's right. You're next, Fluffy. I'm going to strangle your Thalia so hard. You're next, Fluffy. See. Okay, great. There's third mana. Do I need my third mana right off the bat here? Are they going to get me anything? Kiki Jiki? Yeah, why not? Let's Kiki Jiki this. Yep, put down another creature. Do it. Do it. That was my favorite goblin. Let's see. I'm gonna get let's get rid of those two. Mana! What does this give me anything different here? To target creature player deals 2 damage to if you control a amount of a creature. I don't control any of that stuff. I do have lots of extra mana at the moment, so we'll do that. And then we'll pop out a nice equipment creature. Oh, suck it. I mean, sacrifice, draw 3 cards. Let's take that action. Oh, what a horrible, horrible trade that was. I was really hoping for any sort of direct damage. I had 1 in the hand and gave it away to nothing. Oh, that sucks so bad. I can, I think, do this, though. Beep, 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 beep. I'm not blitzing, so we're good to go. Let's see. Pop this one. Yeah, let's do that. All right. And then everything bounces back to my hand. Let's play that same game. Let's go, Joe. Let's pop that cap. That's trample. I'm going to go ahead and pop this one now. Oh, another one. Nice thing about the Shatterskull Charger is the way that it evades Doom Scars and Farewells. I gotta say, I'm in love. Victory! And we're playing against WhiskeyJack. We've got 2 mana. That always bites me in the butt. But 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Let's keep it. I bet you we can get a 3rd mana somewhere in our first, 10 cards or something. All right, 19 more turns to go. I'm a 3/3. I'm a vicious Ogre Helm. He doesn't like what he has in his hand. Looks like he's looking for mana. And we're just gonna start coming at him with the Shatterskull. That's a lot of damage. That's 9 points right there. We're gonna keep it. Ogre-Head's doing pretty good. Decline. And we win. And we're playing against Slick Ricks 1. But apparently Slick Ricks was already used. We're going to keep it. Looks like we're going to be strangling some people. Go on, Slick Rick. I got some choking to do. Well, your pet showed up late. Make a wish. I kind of really like this. Is one of my favorites. This is an early level guy there. All right, nothing to do. I just can't get myself to care about that guy. Kiki Jiki. All right, now he's got to kill. Now he's got to be killed. I'll decline. I'm cool. All right, we'll put out a number 4. We'll put a Shatterskull out there. We'll go ahead and strangle ourselves a dog. And we'll pick up a treasure token while we're at it. Yoink. And saves ourselves from a Doom Scar, Farewell, some other creature kill from the white variety. All right, got another one. You can do it, Duffy Moon. Don't be looking at my Kiki-Jiki, though. Yeah, you did. You touched it. All right. Boink. Shatterskull Charger. I see that's an instant. That'll be nice. So let's see, I've got 6, which means I can cast 2 of them. He's dead if he doesn't do something awesome. I'm sure he's going to see. Can I just kill him straight off with this stuff? Let's go in for the attack first. By his wicked delay right here, I kind of feel as though I made a mistake. Take it. There you go. Oh, it's player Planeswalker. How freaking ridiculous. Alright, we'll play this a stupid way. That was massive F up on my part. Sorry, everyone. I thought that these guys would be able to do direct damage. Yeah, I don't know what he's got in his hand, but it would have been cool. Looks like I lost this game. If I mess this one up, that sucks so bad. Alright, well at least I could kill that guy. That makes me feel better. Auto pay. There we go. Victory! All right, so here it is, mono red burn. And it wasn't a super deck. There's definitely places where it just sort of peters out. But for what I needed to do tonight, this was a very satisfactory deck. I gotta say, my favorite card, of course, is Shatterskull Charger. I've never been a big fan of shelling out money and not being able to keep your dude. But Trample Haste 4/3, and the fact that he comes back to your hand ends up being a really good defense mechanism a lot of the time. So I'm surprised because I know when you play against this stuff, you're just like, I could kill it. I just don't have any instants. All right, I need to be able to wipe the board, but these guys don't stay on the battlefield. So this, and then there's the mechanical Ronin dude or whatever, who's a 2. He's a 2/2 with trample with haste, I think. That guy's the same kind of way. So I was thinking maybe it'd be great to have both those guys in here, but then again, you'd have to be paying like 5 to be able to put 2 guys out per turn. It's hard to say. I gotta say, I did not traditionally like Ogre-Head Helm, but I learned to really like it. And what I really liked about it was because I don't really like the card itself. It's fine, but I really like the idea that when you get damage through, and you get to sacrifice it, and you get to discard your card and draw 3 cards. And that is awesome. I love that. Killing it and picking up 3 new cards. That's super cool. Kami's Flare is, I guess the benefit here is that you get to deal additional 2 points of damage to the permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. And, sometimes you do, because, of course, your Thundering Raiju will put out that extra +1 count. I really like the fact that Jaxis and Kiki-Jiki were capable. Where's Kiki-Jiki at there? Fable of Mirror. There you go. We're able to make copies of Shatterskull Charger, doing that 4 points of damage with trample and haste. That was so beautiful. That's so hard to line up against, except for the fact that then suddenly he becomes my template, so I didn't feel good with just sending him in there to fight, willing to let him get killed. Suddenly he was something I cared about, and I didn't like that feeling. I kind of like him better just going for it. I was like that a lot. But then again, his copies, those guys were completely, cannon fodder in my opinion. Just jump in there, buds, whatever. It means nothing to me because you're going to be dead at the end of turn anyway. But what else is going on here? This guy's stupid. I don't even know what he's in. He didn't have haste. He deals 1 point of damage to each opponent. I guess that's the thing. It's a single point of damage. I would toss this guy. Strangle. Maybe it's just because he's strangling. The theme is so tight. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm like we just say, look, murder, straight up murder, love that. Strangle, love it. Just thematically, it is a wonderful card. So this guy right here, once again, he does that single point of damage when he comes into play, like the Voldaren Epicure. And you get to put the +1 counter, which makes one of your dudes modified, which then allows for a Kami's Flare to do the extra damage. It's this deck. I tried other red decks tonight. This was the first one that had any sort of reliability. So while I feel like there's ways we can turn up the notch on this from like 8 to like 9 or maybe even 11, the problem is it tends to off balance the deck, and it makes it kind of suck. And so this might be what you have to do to be able to get a mono red burn that has like a 50% chance of winning. In my experience with this deck, if you can go first, you got a good chance of winning because it's just so oppressive. You're just keeping that pressure on. At 3, you just get out to Shatterskull. They have a real hard time dealing with that. If you can get 1 or 2 of those things going, by the time you get to 6 mana, it's just so devastating. And that's exactly what I was looking for tonight. So let's give this a rating. The deal is this deck competitive? It's not competitive, but it is, I was going to say, fun. So let's move on to the next thing. Is it a fun deck? Hell yeah, it's a fun deck. Even if you don't win, you are doing damage and you are fighting. And it is fun that way. And then lastly, is there a theme? And I got to say, yeah, it's called kicking ass. That's the theme. I mean, if anything, this thing could be a little bit hastier possibly. But I got to say, I kind of was like hoping I'd have more direct damage in here. And if anything that I would do is be to pull a couple of these cards out and put a little bit more direct damage in here, because that's what I was really looking for tonight. So what am I going to rate this deck? From a theme and fun ratio, it's definitely in the A's for me. When you're just looking to be, just like if you want to do basically a goblin red deck wins deck, and but you don't want to play with just goblins, then here you go. You're ready to go, and this deck is right there for you. So as far as, so without the competitiveness to it, I'm going to say it's not a bad deck. You're not going to lose all the time or anything like that, which is why I'm not going to give it a plus or minus. So I'm going to give this deck an A just because in my mind, it scratched that itch and was lots of fun. So anyways, I hope you have as much fun with this deck as I do.
That is all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes.